Caching. Term for storing reusable responses in order to make subsequent requests faster. Store frequently accessed data for quick retrieval. Importance. Enhance system performance by reducing data access times. Mitigate latency between processors and memory. Terminology. Caching involves several terms that may be unfamiliar to those new to the concept. Here are some key terms often encountered in the context of caching. Cache hit. When a requested item is found in the cache, and no additional processing or retrieval from the original source is needed. This is considered an optimal scenario. Terminology. Cache miss. When a requested item is not found in the cache, and the system must retrieve it from the original source. This can result in higher latency compared to a cache hit. Cache eviction. The process of removing items from the cache, typically to make space for new or more frequently accessed items. Various eviction policies determine which items are removed. Cache invalidation. The process of removing or updating specific items in the cache to ensure that users receive the most current and accurate data. Cache purge. The act of completely clearing the cache, often done to remove all stored data or to apply significant updates to the cache. Terminology. Cache lifetime or time to live, TTL. The duration for which an item is considered valid in the cache before it needs to be refreshed or reloaded from the original source. Location where web content is cached. User's browser. The browser cache stores copies of resources, example, images, stylesheets, scripts, locally on a user's device. This allows the browser to load pages more quickly upon subsequent visits. Content Delivery Network, CDN, Edge servers. CDNs cache copies of content at numerous edge servers strategically distributed around the globe. These edge servers store static content and deliver it to users based on their geographical location, reducing latency and improving load times. Location where web content is cached. Proxy servers. Intermediate proxy servers, such as those used in corporate networks or by Internet Service Providers, ISPs, can cache content to serve multiple users without repeatedly fetching the same data from the origin server. Reverse proxy servers. Situated between the client and the origin server, reverse proxy servers can cache content to improve response times. They can also perform load balancing and SSL termination. Origin server. While not technically caching in the traditional sense, the origin server may store and serve cached copies of resources. This is particularly relevant for dynamic content or frequently requested database queries. Types of cache systems? Level 1 L1 cache. Located on the processor chip. Small in size but extremely fast. Stores frequently used instructions and data. Level 2 L2 cache. Larger than L1, typically located on the processor chip or close to it. Holds additional instructions and data. Level 3 L3 cache. Shared among processor cores. Larger capacity, helps improve overall system performance. Web caching. Browser caching. Storage of web page resources, images, stylesheets, scripts, locally on the user's device. Benefits. Reduces load times for frequently visited websites. Reduces server load by minimizing redundant requests. Implementation tips. Set appropriate caching headers. Use versioning for cache busting. Proxy server caching. Storage of web content on intermediary servers, proxy servers, between clients and the origin server. Benefits. Accelerates content delivery. Reduces bandwidth usage. Implementation tips. Configure caching policies based on content types. Regularly analyze cache hit rates and adjust policies. Database caching. Query result caching. Storing the results of database queries to avoid redundant, time-consuming computations. Benefits. Improves response time for repeated queries. Reduces the load on the database. Implementation tips. Implement cache invalidation strategies. Consider time to live, TTL, for cache query results. Object Relational Mapping, ORM caching. Caching the results of object relational mapping operations, such as converting database records to objects. Benefits: minimizes repeated database access for the same data. Enhances application performance. Implementation tips: utilize second-level caching in ORM frameworks. Fine-tune cache settings based on usage patterns. Considerations for developers: balancing act. Web caching: balance between caching duration and content freshness. Handle cache invalidation effectively. Database caching: balance between caching granularity and overhead. Monitor database changes for timely cache updates. Cache coherency: ensure data consistency across various caches. Implement strategies to handle data updates and synchronization. Performance monitoring: regularly monitor cache hit rates and effectiveness. Use profiling tools to identify and address bottlenecks. Popular web caching libraries: Redis. Overview: in-memory data structure store. Supports caching, messaging, and real-time analytics. Use cases: session caching, full-page caching. Memcached. Overview: distributed memory caching system. Simple key-value store. Use cases: content delivery network (CDN) caching, database query result caching. Varnish Cache. Overview: HTTP reverse proxy cache. Accelerates content delivery. Use cases: front-end optimization, API response caching. Popular database caching tools: Hibernate second-level cache. Overview: part of the Hibernate ORM framework. Caches persistent data. Use cases: entity caching in Java applications. Query result caching. Django cache framework. Overview: built-in caching framework for Django web framework. Supports various cache backends. Use cases: view caching in Django applications. Database query caching. Jinx as a reverse proxy / cache. Overview: popular web server. Jinx serves as a versatile web server, reverse proxy, and caching server. Caching static content. Caches static content to reduce server load and improve web server performance. Use cases: caching static assets, images, CSS, JavaScript. Load balancing and reverse proxying. Akamai, Content Delivery Network, CDN? Overview: CDN for global content delivery. Akamai is a content delivery network, CDN, that caches and delivers content globally. Performance improvement: distributes content closer to end users. Reduces latency and accelerates website loading times. Use cases: global content delivery for websites and applications. Accelerating media streaming. Thanks for watching.